Hello, it's Aelaech. Right now we're doing another Guild War. The first time when I was recording this, I didn't have my mic on, just like the summoning video. So I'm looking at this guy, he has a lot of draws, so we're going to try and beat him. We're going to go Spez on the top and try and judge keys to the bottom. So start off with looking at the CR of everyone, and then just go Sober and Basar to push everyone back. Okay, Basar pushes everyone back. Then we have Leo do S3 to get some stuns. Okay, we got all 3 stuns on with the Leo. Now it's Spez's turn, we use Spez, and we kill Larger Vildred, and then we apply Extinction. Sassy Johnny's pushes everyone. We use Basar's S2 to get some debuffs. Then we Leo's S2 onto the Charles, get a defense break, but it doesn't really matter because Spez's S3 penetrates defense by 100% if it's against someone who's stunned. Now it's Basar's turn again. We S1 onto the S10A, and then we get the stun off of Leo's S1, and then now the S10 is just dead with Spez, and that's round 1 just completed. Now into round 2. I don't really know why I brought Judge Kisei in, but I thought it would work. However, I keep forgetting that my Judge Kisei isn't that great. We didn't crit on the General Purgus, and we missed the Violet. Then we S3, get resisted by the General Purgus, and then the Remnant Violet just kills our Judge Kisei. I'm thinking about yielding, and then I decide not to because I thought that my Siram might be able to do it, but she didn't. Yep, so that was round 2 of the first attack. So starting off with a draw, not the greatest. But now we move on to the second one. We decide to go against... Okay, I decided to go for this guy. When I was really just looking at the teams, I thought the Baiken or the Rose on the top team would be really fast. I kind of just thought about that, and I knew the bottom team had a lot of debuffers, so I brought in Lily's Champion Zerato SSB to kind of counteract that. So for the top team, because I thought they were pretty fast, I brought in Judith instead, and then I also brought in Tywin and BBK to just try and cleave the first wave. My second attack is going to be these 2 teams. So this is when I realized that their team is actually really slow. So I just the S3 Judith and the S3 Tywin and the S3 BBK. It just wipes the floor with them. So that's round 1 completed. And now round 2. So the Dizzy is slower than my Lilius, which is pretty disappointing. So I choose to provoke the MLR instead, so she won't stun my guys. So then Dizzy S3s, then which makes Zerato counterattack. My SSB counterattacks with the MLR, which then causes their SSB to counterattack. Now it's my SSB's turn, and I realized that she has silence, which kind of sucks. So I choose to S1 onto the enemy SSB, and then I use Champion Gyarados S3 to try and just deal some AoE damage and heal a bit. So then they S3 with their SSB. Now my Champion Gyarados counters, and then they're dead. So yeah, that's round 2 for the second attack. This time was a victory. And then now onto the third attack. Okay, so I decided to attack into this team, though I definitely made some decisions in choosing this. I probably should have just kept some of the teams, but instead I choose to try and use Spez at the bottom, and for some reason I forgot that my Bassar is pretty slow at only about 224 speed. So definitely not someone should have brought against a Dizzy. And now for the top team, Tywin, Judith, BBK. And so then we begin round 1. Go Judith, and then into Tywin, BBK. So then we try the S3, but we don't pull anyone, which is a problem. So then Julius goes, S3 pushes everyone back, and then provokes my BBK. Then the SSB goes, S3s, and then pretty much almost kills my BBK. And then my Judith's turn, SSB has 5 focus up. So basically, whoever I attack, SSB is going to counter. So I try and get a dual attack with BBK on the SSB. Doesn't work. SSB's counter. And then so I try and Tywin defense break, but it doesn't really matter because there's a Charles with an S3. And then I'm pretty sure all my guys had a defense break. Yep. So that just kills my BBK, and then after that, it's pretty much just round over. So now into round 2, and the Dizzy goes first, and S3. So when I saw this, I was thinking, well, game is pretty much over, but maybe we can get lucky. So I soul burn Bassar's S3, try and push them back. I miss all 3 of them. And then now Leo goes, I try and S3 again. No stuns and miss 2 of them. Now Luana S3s. And now it's back to my Spez. So I try and S2. No stuns. And it's pretty much just game over from here. So Violet goes and then kills my Leo. Almost kills. Dizzy is just overpowers. I try and get a stun. I do get the stun off of Spez. However, RNL didn't proc, so I couldn't use him to kill the Dizzy. So then Violet goes and S1's onto my Spez. And then, long story short, I lose this battle. Yeah, so that was attack number 3 with 2 defeats in both rounds. I was pretty disappointed with that. I'm kind of just regretting just thinking like, why did I bring in my really slow Bassar? But yeah, so that was the 3 attacks on my main. And now we're gonna go on to my second account. Okay, now we're on my second account. We're gonna then just start and do these 3 attacks. For my first opponent, I choose to go against this guy. I see that he's a Flitica, so I immediately bring in Assassin Sid, counter that. And then I see the Sinful Angelica, and also bring SSB. For the last character, I bring in Kayron, and then for the bottom team, I bring in Charles, Judith, and Arbiter Vildred. And so we'll just proceed to the first round. Okay, my Assassin Sid goes, and then he goes S3 onto the Flitica, kills the Flitica. Now the Sinful Angelica goes S3s, And then the Celine goes, and then S3 jumps in my SSB, who just gets wrecked by it. So I was pretty sad about that. But then my Karen goes, and then the Seeds kill the Celine. So now it's just the Assassin Sid and Karen versus the Sinful Angelica, and so eventually the immortality wears off and we just kill her. That's one with the Assassin Sid, and then go on to the next round. Okay, now for round 2, we go Judith into Charles. And then after Charles, we go Arbiter Vildred. Thankfully, we killed the PBK, and then now it's just the DN and the Carmen. So even though they have all the buffs in the world, we still have Charles who can remove those buffs with his S2. So eventually, we also just win this one. And then Arbiter Vildred gets the last hit, and then that's round 2 over with a pretty good victory. For my second attack, I choose to fight this guy. So I see that he has Arbiter Vildred, so I immediately just bring in Sinful Angelica to just counter that. And then I decide to bring in Karen back into the top team as another damage dealer. And then for the bottom team, I bring in Champion Zerato because I see that there's a bunch of debuffs from both of the Bellonas. I decide to move Arbiter Vildred to the top team, and then Assassin Sid into the bottom team. Now we go into the second attack, round 1. So my Sinful Angelica goes in front of everyone, so I immediately go S3. The Ruel targets my Arbiter Vildred. Now I have Karen up, so then I use Karen and then immediately just attack the other Karen to try and proc the immortality. He goes, and since he's silenced, he only goes S1. Then the S1 triggers Dust Devil, so my Arbiter Vildred comes back alive. So then I just S3 with my Arbiter Vildred, and then kill the Karen. Then their Arbiter Vildred's still alive, so it's fine. So the Ruel S3s the Arbiter Vildred. So then I use S1 and dual attack into the Ruel, and then I proc great attack from Aelaech's basket, and then S3 into the Ruel, killing her. And then we heal a bit with the Soul Harvest, and then I just S1. And then I also proc Moonlight Dreamblade, which allowed my Arbiter Vildred to survive, which was pretty good. Now for round 2. I S3 and choose to attack the Seaside Bellona. And then I push her back with Silence. Then I S3 with Charles. Doing a lot of damage, killing the SSB. Then the Bellona goes, Charles counters, and then my Champion Zerato counters, and now I S1 with Champion Zerato, then Charles dual attacks and kills the Angelica. So that's round 2 completed with another victory, and then now attack 3. Okay, for my last and final attack, I'm thinking to myself, I gotta revenge my my main account, so that's what I decided to do. So for the top team, I bring in Judith. So it's Judith, Arbiter Vildred, and Karen on the top. I just go with the same team on the bottom. Now for round 1, I go S3, and then S3, And then S3 MQ the Lilius, try and put silence on her. Which I do, which is pretty good. See dual attacks into Charon. Okay, and then I stun the Charles with Judith. SSB counters. So now SSB goes, S3s, and now Lilius S3s cleanses all the debuffs. Okay, so Judith dies, so now it's just Charon and SSB. So Charon goes, S3s. Sadly, Charles counters, but it doesn't pass the second, and then SSB counters. And then our Revolters is able to stay alive and just finish the job. Now for round 2. I have Assassin Sid, and then he goes and then silences the Dizzy. Now Brawanda goes, S3s, puts revive buff onto everyone. Then Charles, S3. And does a pretty good amount of damage. And then S3 with Champion Zerato. And then Kat kills the Dizzy, but then she comes back with the revive. But it's fine because we have Champion Zerato there. He goes and then counterattacks and then kills the Violet. So then Violet comes back. I use Assassin Sid and S1 onto the Violet. Luckily we crit, actually hit, so that killed the Violet. And then we S1 onto the Dizzy. And then we Charles S2 onto the Dizzy. We missed, but that's fine because now it's Champion Zerato's turn, who goes and then kills the Dizzy. And then we just soul burn with Assassin Sid and kill their wall. Okay, so that was the third attack with another victory, which is pretty good. Those were the 2 attacks I did that day in Guild Wars. It would have been better if I actually remembered to turn on my mic. So we actually did eventually win this war. That was going to be our 4th win in a row. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Leave a comment if you want to see specific characters in action and like what stats I have on them. And yeah, see you next time.